I was just scrolling through my phone's photo gallery this morning, and a memory popped up from exactly 1 year ago today. It was a selfie of me at the airport, looking exhausted but excited, with two giant suitcases behind me. And it just hit me. It's been a year, a full year since I packed up my life, said goodbye to my friends and my city, and moved to the Netherlands. I've tried to film this video a few times, but I don't think I was ready. When you're in the middle of it, you're just treading water. But now, with a year of distance, I can finally see the whole picture. And I want to be honest with you, moving here has been the most transformative, challenging, and beautiful journey of my life. But it has been absolutely nothing like the idyllic dream I had in my head. The internet is filled with these perfect montages of the Netherlands, and they're not wrong. The canals are that beautiful, the work-life balance is real. But what they don't show you is the grit underneath, the bureaucratic maze, the soul-crushing hunt for a place to live, and a kind of quiet loneliness that can really take you by surprise. So, today I want to share the unfiltered story. The good, the bad, and the very, very bureaucratic. This is my 1-year review. My story probably sounds familiar to a lot of expats. I was a UX designer in a big US city, working for a great tech company but feeling completely burnt out by the hustle culture. The job offer in the Netherlands, in the Utrecht area, felt like an escape hatch. It promised interesting work, a healthier lifestyle, and that magical 30% ruling tax advantage. The Dutch company's HR team was a dream. They handled my highly skilled migrant visa with such speed and efficiency that it felt like a red carpet was being rolled out for me. That efficiency gave me a completely false sense of security. I thought, wow, this country has everything figured out. This is going to be so easy. That was mistake number 1. The visa is just the welcome email. The real onboarding starts the moment you land. I should mention at this juncture that a super cool resource is savyexpats.nl. I got a lot of help and information from them, and I suggest you check it out. My company provided a temporary, serviced apartment for 1 month. You'll find a place in no time, they assured me. I look back at my sweet, naive self, and I just want to give her a hug. I immediately downloaded Pararius and Funda, the big rental websites, and I was so optimistic. I saw all these cute apartments, and I started bookmarking them. I sent out my first 15 applications. I had a permanent contract, a great salary. I was a non-smoker, no pets. I thought I was the perfect tenant. The response? Absolute silence. Not even a rejection email. Then I sent out another 20. I finally got one response, an invitation to a group viewing. Oh, the Dutch group viewing. It's a unique social experiment. You arrive at this tiny apartment to find you're one of 40 people being herded through. You're all trying to be polite while subtly assessing each other. You see the well-dressed couples, and you can just feel your single-person application sinking to the bottom of the invisible pile. You're all handed the same form, asking for your life story. Employment contract, 3 months of pay slips, which I didn't have yet, a letter from your employer. I even wrote a personal motivation letter for one place, complete with a friendly photo, trying to convince them I'd be the perfect quiet neighbor. The end of my month in the serviced apartment was looming. Real genuine panic started to creep in. My new colleagues were giving me advice, the unwritten rules of the game. You have to be the first to reply, within minutes of the listing, going live. You should offer to pay €150 over the asking rent. It felt overwhelming. In the end, my lifeline came from a Dutch colleague. A woman on my team noticed I was looking stressed during a coffee break and quietly asked me about my search. The next day, she came to my desk and told me her friend's sister was renting out a small studio and hadn't listed it yet. It was a connection. It wasn't about my income or my contract. It was about a trusted recommendation. That was the most important lesson of my first month. In the Netherlands, community and network are your most valuable currency. So, you have the address. You feel like you've conquered Everest, but you've just reached base camp. Now you need the key to the entire kingdom, the BSN, the Burger Service Number, your citizen service number. Without this number, you don't exist in the system. You can't open a Dutch bank account, which you need to get paid properly. You can't get the mandatory health insurance. You can't get a phone plan. I called the gemeente, the municipality, to book my registration appointment. The earliest one they had was 6 weeks away. For 6 weeks, I was a ghost. I was paying for everything with my US credit card, racking up foreign transaction fees. My company had to do a special costly international wire for my first paycheck. It's this incredibly stressful limbo where you're physically in the country, but you're locked out of participating in normal life. Once the BSN arrived in the mail, it was like a dam breaking. Suddenly, I could do everything: set up my bank account, sign up for my health insurance, which is private and mandatory, costing about €140 a month for a basic plan with a high deductible, the Eigenrisiko. Then you have to apply for your DigiD, your digital ID, which is the key to all online government services. The whole system is a marvel of digital efficiency once you are inside it, but getting in is a trial by fire. And while all this logistical chaos is happening, you're also trying to build a social life from zero. And for me, this was even harder than the housing hunt. Everyone here is incredibly nice, and their English is better than my English half the time. But there's a real difference between being friendly and being friends. The Dutch bubble is a real phenomenon. People have their core groups of friends, their vriendengroepen, often from university or even from when they were kids. Their social calendars are planned out weeks, sometimes months in advance. You don't just casually ask someone to hang out on Friday. You propose a date 2 or 3 weeks from now, and you send a calendar invite. The first few months were lonely. I would finish work, have a lovely cycle home, and that part is amazing. But then I'd walk into my quiet apartment and the silence would just be deafening. It forces you to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, with being the one to always initiate. I joined a yoga studio. I signed up for a pottery class. I went to expat meetups, where I had the same conversation about the BSN and the housing crisis over and over again. But then, slowly, things started to shift. My first real friendship started in my Dutch language class. A woman from Brazil and I were completely butchering the pronunciation of Scheveningen, and we just caught each other's eye and burst out laughing. We got coffee after class. It was a tiny spark, but it was everything, and you learn to find joy in other things. One of the biggest revelations for me was the feeling of safety. Back home, I would never have walked or biked home alone late at night. Here, cycling home from a friend's place at 11 p.m. through quiet, well-lit streets and feeling completely safe. That was a freedom I didn't even know I was missing. And then, without you even noticing, you cross a line. You go from surviving to actually living here. The things that were once terrifying become normal. You start to appreciate the directness. There's no passive aggression. You always know where you stand. You find your favorite local market, your favorite bakery, and you finally understand gezelligheid, that famous untranslatable Dutch word. It's not just coziness. It's the feeling of contentment and warmth you get from sharing a simple dinner with a few new friends. It's sitting in a candlelit brown cafe on a rainy afternoon. It's a feeling of belonging that you have to slowly, deliberately build for yourself. So, 1 year in. The verdict? It was worth every single frustrating form and lonely evening. But if I could go back and give that excited girl at the airport some advice, I would tell her this. It's going to be harder than you think, so be kinder to yourself. Save at least twice as much money as you think you'll need for a buffer. Understand that you are building a new life from the foundations up, and that takes time. The Netherlands doesn't just give you a beautiful life. It gives you the tools and the safety to build one for yourself, brick by bureaucratic brick. And honestly, the life I've built here is one I'm incredibly proud of. If you're on a similar journey or thinking about it, I hope this was helpful. I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments. What was your biggest culture shock? What was the moment you finally felt like you belonged? Let's share the real stories. Thanks so much for watching.